Today I'm going to be reviewing FIFINE's AM8 dynamic microphone. I want to thank FIFINE for sending this to me to review. Let's go over all the really nice features it has, and I'm going to compare it to what I have and tell you why you don't need what I have. You need FIFINE AM8. All right, so here's AM8, small package, nice bass. Even though the outer body of this is actually plastic, the base and all this is metal and it's heavy. I've had some that are really light and it just, you don't want that. You want something that's substantial. This already has, as you can see, the pop filter on there. I think what I like about FIFINE and what I've seen before, even when I was researching getting my mic for what I do for my live streaming, I was looking at their product and it comes with everything. That is a rare, like normally you got to buy everything separate, pop filters, arms, bases. This comes with everything you need. One of the coolest features I'm going to show you on the bottom here is this. It's an XLR. Now, a lot of you might not want to start off with XLR, but it gives you this flexibility. This is what XLR, so if you look at my mic right here, this is an XLR cable. You end up needing a soundboard. I mean, I spent almost $700 just on my soundboard. I went 2 years with a USB, and it comes with a USB cable. XLR cables aren't terribly expensive, but there's a lot more that goes into it. And the fact, though, that this gives you, future flexibility. And if you're new, this is what you're going to want. You may not end up with this in the end. You might switch over to XLR, use this, and then decide to move up to one of their other products or another brand, whatever that may be. But this gives you flexibility. And I've seen a lot of streamers out there upset that they didn't have the flexibility. For me, I had a microphone that was just USB, and when it was time to switch, I had to go get another one, so I couldn't test it out. So this has USB, it has the XLR, and of course you can live monitor if you want. Another cool feature is it has the RGB lights on here, and you have the controls right here, the knobs on there. I'm going to hook this up because what I want to do, I want you to hear what this sounds like when I plug it in with an XLR like I'm using right now, and then what it sounds like when I use USB. So one of the cool things, this does have the RGB lights on there. I'm going to bring it a little closer so you can see what it looks like. It doesn't show up. There's more of a purple, and it will cycle through them. All you have to do is right here to change it. You can click this, and this will go through the different colors. It's not all coming up on the camera. If you want to completely turn it off, you hold it down. So there it is on. See if you can get the color there. As a little closer, you can see the different colors. All right, so here we go. I've taken my XLR mic out. I have this plugged in USB-C to USB-A. What's nice is the plug on the other end actually has an adapter, so you can change it. You can go USB-C to USB-C or USB-C to USB-A depending on the device you're using. On the top here, this is going to be your gain switch. So a lot of people might be like, let's blow it up. Now I'm running this through OBS. I'm not going to get into all of that. But it does sound good. You might hear some other sounds because I haven't tweaked it out enough yet, but it does sound good. You adjust this, you start it really low and then go up. Now I have hooked my headphones directly into the mic. Low latency, I can hear it exactly when it's happening, but you can also hear it if you're just running through your computer and you have your headphones in your computer. This right here will adjust the sound for that. So you got everything you need. If you have something like OBS, you're trying to use it and you put the gain all the way up, you'll see your red bar just go crazy singing anything. It'll just be all in red. You don't want it to like blast off into the red. You want to just barely touch it when you're loud, and then you can adjust other things. But this, I think, sounds really good. Now, what I want to do is also plug it into my soundboard so we can hear what this sounds like using XLR. And I just think the ability to have that feature to be able to use both USB for new users and be able to expand to an XLR later on is such a nice feature. And I think it's something that most people starting out won't think about, but having an inexpensive mic that has big features like this is important. Let me get that hooked up and let's give it a try. All right, now I've got it hooked up to my soundboard here, and we have it hooked up through the XLR. So now I can adjust everything on my soundboard. Now, I don't have everything tweaked out, so you might hear little sounds here and there, but this will give you an idea of what the difference is. Now through my soundboard, I can do interesting things like change my voice. I can talk like this, or I can talk like that. But that is not the point of the mic. being able to use XLR gives you other features. Now, FIFINE actually has their own soundboards. They have a whole bunch of stuff like that if you want to go that route. But what I like is that this gives you that flexibility that you just don't get on most USB mics. So you have options, whether you're at home, maybe you have a better setup, but when you go travel, you don't want to take all that with you. You don't want to take your soundboard. So now you can hook it up through your USB. And a lot of times, if you have things that get picked up by the mic that you don't want, you can use software to take that out afterwards. Finally, this gets 4.5 stars. It has over 9,000 rating. So you just can't go wrong with those big numbers. Lots bought every month. People are liking it. It's not something that gets returned a lot. One of the things I've read, some people might say, well, it's cheaply made. The casing here is plastic, but the inside is what's important, the chips and everything like that, and it sounds good. And it's a great price. I hope this review helps, and I'll see you next time.